Well?
Smith found the letter. She went off her brain.
Anyone else see it?
No. She scuttled out of the place like a frightened rabbit.
Did she bash Tyler?
No. She was too freaked out.
Who did?
No names, Miss Ferguson. You know that. It's not part of our arrangement.
All right. Won't hurt to let her cop it anyway. She might get another stint in the pound.
Fine. Our plan's working out better than we'd hoped.
How do you mean?
I mean, if you push just a little harder, I'm sure that you might find that Smith is suicidal. That is, if you're interested.
Yeah. I'm interested.
What are you doing? Come on. There you go.
Oh, yes. Mackenzie's another one to watch. She'd sell her own grandmother for sixpence. Now, she's not as smart as Smith, but she certainly is as dangerous.
What about Lizzie Birdsworth? She seems to be our longest-serving prisoner.
Oh, well, your main trouble with Birdsworth is that she's a crony of Smith. Apart from that, she's quite harmless. Oh, she plays up the poor health thing a bit, you know, bad heart and all that. Anything to have people feel sorry for her. Most of the officers tend to go a bit easy on her.
You don't feel that's justified?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There are a few soft touches on the staff. They tend to get a bit too involved. They don't see that they're being manipulated.
Who, for instance?
Oh, now, I wouldn't like to talk about personalities, not behind their backs.
And I wouldn't expect you to. I'm just curious to get to know a bit more about my staff. It's difficult enough to get to know people without... Well, to be frank, there has been some resistance, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I had noticed. But then you can't please everyone.
Oh, early days yet, I hope. But if you can help me, anything you can tell me will be appreciated. And kept confidential, of course.
Oh, well, I don't think that anything that I could say would be any more than common knowledge anyway. Meg Morris does tend to get a little too involved, personally. But that's no secret, and I'm sure she means no harm by it, but I think it does affect her judgment from time to time. Did you know that she spent 48 hours inside for contempt of court?
Yes, I read that on her report. What about Mrs. Powell?
Yes, well, she has been an efficient deputy governor. But then she, too, has had her share of problems in getting involved with prisoners.
Such as?
Well, there was a sticky situation some time back concerning the husband of one of the prisoners.
Really?
Oh, it didn't last for too long, and it certainly isn't indicative of the way she usually conducts herself. But as I said, getting too close can be dangerous.
Yes. And it's no wonder I don't trust written reports. This is all new to me.
Anyway, here we are talking about everyone else. What about you? Now, if you don't mind my asking, there are some of us who would like to know a little more about our new governor.
Well, there's not much to tell, really. No dark secrets, anything like that. My husband died 6 years ago. My 2 children helped me through that time. There's Paul. He's 18, working as a trainee manager for a supermarket. And Julie, she's 21. 22, rather. Doing 4th year university. Both good kids. And apart from 15 or so years in the public service, that's about it, really. Nothing terribly exciting.
Well, I think you'll have your share of excitement from now on. Would you like some more port?
Thank you. And thanks again for tonight. It's been really worthwhile.
I'm glad you think it has. Carrie.
Oh! Debbie! It is Debbie. Carrie was the best friend. It's Debbie! Try to
Get rid of that rubbish.
Oh,
Righto, Moonbeam. I'm putting you on the... Oh,
Debbie!
oh, get out, a lot of you.
No.
Shut up, Smith. Get her out of here, Birdsworth. Well, I take it contact was made.
Well and truly. You took your time about it, though.
Oh, for God's sake, why don't you leave me alone? I did what you bloody wanted.
Highly strung, these supernatural types.
Well, how am I supposed to make a gun? Out of bits of a sewing machine and soap powder. Got any suggestions?
Right, I'll get you what you need.
We'll make it quick. We don't want to keep the great Queen Bee waiting, do we?
Good morning, Governor.
Morning, Miss Ferguson.
Morning, Mrs. Powell.
Oh, by the way, thanks again for your help the other night.
It was a pleasure.
And don't forget to claim overtime.
No, I won't, Governor. Could I have the keys to the cleaning cupboard, Mrs. Morris? Thank you.
Excuse me, how come they're suddenly as thick as thieves?
Would you believe she actually cooked the new boss dinner?
Ferguson, socialising.
Don't be silly, you heard. It was overtime.
For God's sake, don't flash them around.
Well, you got it right.
How long is it going to take?
Oh, about 20 minutes after work, that should do the trick. But you'll have to let me stay back in the laundry.
I hope this thing's as lethal as you say it is.
It's just perfect for a suicide. Do you want to give it a trial run when I've finished it?
Miss Ferguson, seeing as it's her first night here, I want you to keep an eye on Tracy Bowman. She's not proving very popular with the other women.
Of course not. She's different. You got to be popular to get on in Wentworth.
Well, in that case, she's not the only one in trouble.
Meaning?
I don't appreciate having my private life aired to Mrs. Reynolds.
Oh, so that's it. Mrs. Powell, anything I said to the Governor about you was to do with your professional life. If you insist on mixing the two, then I'm afraid you have to cop the consequences.
Well, there was no need to inform on a fellow officer.
Oh, I am sorry. I keep forgetting how close we all are.
I'd like to remind the bitch with a sledgehammer.
Well,
Here it is. The kid's letter, too.
just one more visit from her daughter.
And you'd better watch out for Moonbeam. She's starting to crack, too.
She won't have the guts to talk. Not when Smith's dead.
Yes. Debbie. Debbie, I want to help you, but I don't know how. Debbie. 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 Listen to her. Listen to her. We've done it. We've done it.
They had me brains. They put me in charge of me. I could take care of her better than anyone else.
You have enough trouble looking after yourself, Birdsworth.
But I know me better than anyone else.
Nothing to be proud of, now drop it. What are you doing here, Mackenzie? You should be at lunch.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of things on my mind, Miss Ferguson. That's kind of ruining me appetite.
Well, if you're not hungry, I'm sure we can find something for you to do. Get to lunch, Birdsworth.
Oh, but I'm not hungry
I said
either.
move.
I reckon we got real problems with that old bag of bones.
Birdsworth? She's harmless.
You reckon? I just saw her coming out of the shower block a short while back. And guess who was in there with her?
Moonbeam.
Right. And if she let on to Birdbrain what's been happening, we could find ourselves right up to our necks in it.
You're losing your nerve, Mackenzie. If she had, Birdsworth would have gone straight to the governor and spilled the lot.
Yeah. But even if she does keep quiet, we're still not off the hook. What happens if they find the gun after Smith has been taken off to the funny farm?
I think exactly what I want them to think. That she made the gun herself to commit suicide.
But what if one of the women find it? Somebody who knows something and wants to get back at us.
Then why don't you beat them to it? Personally, I don't think a yellow streak suits you, Mackenzie. But please yourself. Congratulations, Moonbeam. It worked.
What are you talking about?
All those little spook tricks you've been playing on Smith. She just killed Mackenzie.
Killed her?
That's right. Something must have finally snapped, eh? Terrible, isn't it?
You made her do that.
Me? Oh, no. You were our contact with the spirit world, Moonbeam. You're the one who summoned up all those nasty dreams.
No! I told you I wanted to stop. I didn't want anything like this to happen.
Oh, but it has. And now Smith's never going to get out of here. You did a real good job.
Maybe she will get out. Maybe somebody will just stand up and say what's really going on round here.
And who's going to do that? Mackenzie's dead. But of course, there's always you, Moonbeam. I'm sure the governor would be very interested to know what part you played in it. Oh, but your trial's tomorrow, isn't it? I'm sure you wouldn't want to do anything to complicate matters and make trouble between now and then, would you?
Right, bitch. Why don't you just come inside and shut the door behind you? You might as well, because I'm going to get you sooner or later.
You keep it quiet, Smith, and go easy on the accusations. People will think you're raving again.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
Anything you say will just be put down to your sudden and sad decline.
Yeah? Well, not when they see this.
Oh, what's that supposed to be?
That is a note from Debbie.
Oh, been writing yourself notes now, have you? Debbie's dead, Smith.
This is in Debbie's handwriting. And it's the one you and Mackenzie wrapped around the gun. Recognise it?
Oh, I feel so alone now. Can't you come to see me? Never seen her before in my life.
Thanks. That's all the proof I needed.
Oh, you're crazy, Smith. It's useless.
I don't think so. And I'm going to give it to the cops.
What does that prove? If it is a letter from your daughter, what the hell does it prove?
That someone brought it in here.
Well, now, if it's in Debbie's handwriting, it must be pretty old. They'll say you've been hoarding it up.
Wrong. Because I haven't got a single thing left from her. Not a single thing. It all went in the fire.
Is that so? Well, that must be one that got away. You've probably been carrying it around for years.
Where'd you get it, Ferguson? Who was it written to?
Like I said, I've never seen it before in my life.
Bitch! Proving it.
And you finish up in a padded cell.
You know something about this letter?
Steady
bitch!
on, Smith.
I'm going to get you. I'll get you sooner or later. You're never going to get away with this, you rotten bitch. I'm going to get you.
What the hell's going on here?
Just Smith's wild ravings again.
Oh, nice try, Ferguson, but I'm going to get you.
All right, shut up, Smith.
I don't want to see the governor.
Yes, you will in due course if you're quiet. You are not supposed to be here. She's already made threats on your life.
Yes. She tried to say that I was trying to send him mad. Ridiculous, isn't it? She didn't need any help for that.
Tell it to the governor. He wants to see you now.
I'm sorry about this, Joan, but Smith was adamant, so naturally I have to follow the story up.
Yes, I quite understand that, Governor. But you must agree that Smith has been well, away with the pixies for some time now. Her doing, no one else's.
Yes, but there are one or two details that don't quite add up.
Such as?
Well, the gun, for instance. The police told me how it was made. It seems rather complex.
No, I've seen zip guns before. Believe me, they're a piece of cake for a hardened criminal to make.
Oh, I'm sure Smith would know how to make one. But how would she get hold of the materials?
The workshop?
Don't we have security checks as the women leave?
As I have said before, Governor, our security isn't as tight as it should be.
What about gunpowder? I can't imagine the women would have access to the armory.
Match heads.
Sorry?
No idea how devious they can be. In Queensland, the women used to crush match heads. It does the same job.
And why do you think she'd want to implicate you?
Oh, she had to blame someone. And it's no secret that I've had a number of run-ins with her.
I don't like it. None of it quite adds up.
Well, why should it? You've read Dr. Pullman's report. Now, either the woman is completely deranged or she has very carefully planned the whole thing.
It's possible, I suppose.
Of course it is. Governor, when you've been with the department as long as I have, you'll begin to realise just what these women are capable of.
I think I'm just starting to find out.
You can't do anything to me. You might be able to soft soap the new governor, but Bee'll get you in the end. She fixed that bitch Nola, and I'm bloody glad she did. And she'll get you too, Ferguson.
I've received the police report about Mackenzie's murder. I was going to talk to the staff later, but I think perhaps I'd better tell you now.
Yes?
They're convinced that Smith was mentally unstable and there was no outside influence. Apparently Dr. Pullman's report helped them with their decision.
Well, that's a relief.
For me too, remember? I'd hate to think one of my officers was involved in a situation like that.
Yes. Well, thanks for telling me. I better get back. I'm pretty flat out.
Everyone seems to be. Oh, I'm putting an officer full-time with Tracy Bellman soon. That should cut down the workload a bit.
Have you decided who that's to be?
No, not yet. Why?
Well, I'd like to do it. Look, I know I wasn't involved with this Smith business, but that sort of thing does leave a nasty taste. I can accept that, but if I have to prove myself as an officer, then maybe this is the best way to do it.
There's no need to do
I
that.
realise I don't have to prove myself to you, but I've got to work with the others too. Maybe I can be of some help to her. Perhaps I can get through to her. She's out on her own. And believe me, I can understand that.
All right, you can start this afternoon.
Thank you. The governor has decided that you need a sort of personal assistant.
What?
Someone who can be around to keep an eye on you.
You can forget about that. I don't need a nursemaid.
It's too late. I've already been appointed.
You?
That's right. I hope I can make things a little easier for you.
But why you? Why did you get the job?
I volunteered.
Look, I don't...
I'm sorry, it's all been arranged. I'm afraid we're stuck with each other, Bellman. But I'm sure we'll get on very well together. I intend to see that we do. You all right?
No! No, please leave me alone! Help me, somebody help me!
Quick, Bellman, be quiet! The whole prison!
Please leave me alone!
What's going on here?
Oh, thank God! I woke up and he was trying to kiss me!
Absolutely ridiculous. I never laid a hand on her.
Oh, really? I suppose I was dreaming. I might be a cripple, you know, but I'm not stupid. She's had a lot of mind ever since I arrived in here. She's sick.
Dare you speak to an officer
All
like
right, all
that?
right.
Come on, let's just calm down, shall we? I take it, Bellman, you want to make a formal complaint.
You damn well bet I do.
You're not going to take her seriously.
You can see the situation, my hands are tied.
She's lying.
You know the regulations. This sort of thing must go on report to the governor.
I hardly think that's necessary, since the reason I'm here is because the governor asked me to keep an eye on her.
Bellman, are you prepared to withdraw the charge?
No way.
Then I have no alternative but to take a formal statement from you both.
Miss Ferguson's been accused of something like this before, hasn't she?
Yes, that's right. Nothing actually proven.
I see.
You sent for me, Governor?
Yes, Miss Ferguson. It's about this complaint by Tracy Bellman.
Yes, well, the whole thing's a fabrication, of course. These women are only too eager to try and drag officers down.
Yes, I understand that, but what exactly happened?
I was patrolling the corridor, and I heard screams coming from Bellman's cell. I had been assigned to her, so I naturally went in to investigate. She was thrashing about in her sleep and appeared to be having some sort of a nightmare. I bent over her to try and wake her, and she began abusing me. She said that I tried to kiss her.
What gave her that idea?
Certainly nothing that I did. Probably had something to do with her nightmare.
Well, there's nothing anyone can do to prove it one way or the other, so I think the best thing is to relieve you as her supervising officer.
That makes it appear as though she's in the right.
It also stops further accusations. I'm sorry, but we have to look at the overall picture, and I think for the good of Wentworth and the prisoner's health, we have to go along with the girl's request.
Her request? So it's her decision?
No, it's mine, and I've made it. That'll be all, thank you.
You realise, of course, Governor, that you're playing right into their hands, don't you?
No, I don't. A statement will be given to Tracy Bellman that clearly indicates we in no way accept her accusation. Now, if I'm right, you're due in court this morning to give evidence.
Thanks, Carl.
So is this the only medical report we've got for Bellman?
As far as I know. Why? Isn't there enough there for you?
Just asking.
I would go carefully if I were you. A condition like that, it's just as real to the victim as a physical disability.
Yeah, but the treatment's different. It's obvious the girl's faking. She's trying to whip up enough sympathy to get herself released.
You've read the medical report? I hardly think she could have fooled the entire board of examiners.
You don't know how far these types can go. When they're up for murder, they'll try anything. Look at Smith and Birdsworth.
Well, I can appreciate what you're saying. But it's not really any of our business. We're here to run a prison, not play at being detectives.
I'm not suggesting that we do, but surely we can help the police. Now, if she were to be released on a sympathy plea, it's just the same as going over the wall.
Not quite. Joan, are you sure you're not doing this because of her accusation against you?
No, I suppose I am a bit, but if those accusations get to the press, there'll be hell to pay. Any hint of lesbian activity involving an officer in this place, and there'll be a public outcry. And that's what she wants, Governor. Sympathy.
Well, she's certainly going about it the wrong way. She's done nothing but upset people since she came here.
Well, that may be as it appears to you, Governor, but I can see through her little game, and I intend to stop it.
No, I'm afraid I can't allow that. Now, I want you to forget Tracy Bellman and have nothing more to do with her except in the course of your normal duties. Do you understand?
Exercising your eyes, are you, Bellman? You might as well. Nothing else works.
But you would have got your kick seeing me grovelling on the floor.
Yeah, I did too.
Supposed to be an officer, he's supposed to make sure things like that don't happen. That idiot could have injured my legs more.
You forget, Bellman, you completely negated any personal responsibility I had towards you the other night.
What do you want?
You. Oh, am I being too subtle? I've decided that I do want what you accused me of the other night. I might as well, eh? I got the blame for it.
You put a finger on me and I'll scream this place down.
Oh, you can scream all you like, Bellman. I'm the only officer on patrol. And all the other vermin are at work. Besides, a bit of a struggle makes it even better.
What the hell are you doing?
Merely proving a point, Governor. Look at her. I told you she was faking. And she was also lying about me assaulting her the other night.
a minute. Miss Ferguson, I'm about to go to court. Well, I didn't want to go without saying anything.
I think you've said more than enough.
I just want to say I'm sorry. Look, I know what you think of me. I know you probably don't believe me, but I really am sorry.
Save your apologies for the judge.
I saw Mrs. Reynolds in the corridor a minute ago. I told her how grateful I am.
Oh, yeah. You've had gratitude written all over your face since you came in here.
I am. If it hadn't been for you, I could have been stuck in this chair for the rest of my life.
Spare me the violins.
Major, you little devil, what are you doing in there?
Hey, lady, when are you going to do something about that bloody mongrel dog of yours?
Oh, yes, my friendly next-door neighbour. Mr. Coulson, isn't it?
There's nothing very neighbourly about letting your dog crap all over my lawn. I'm sick and tired of cleaning it up.
Major is locked in my backyard when I go to work. Now, I can hardly be blamed if he's able to burrow under the fence, can I?
Well, who else is to blame? A dog like that should be on a chain.
What?
Ugly-looking thing, and I don't want it coming near my daughter. That dog is savage. It could bite her. Slobbers all over her.
Major doesn't bite anyone. Besides, have you bothered to talk to your daughter? She just might enjoy playing with him. Did that ever occur to you?
But don't get smart with me, lady. Are you going to chain that dog up or not?
Well, I don't mind cleaning up your lawn,
Look, don't
but
bother, because the next time I catch it in my place, I'm going to put a bullet between its eyes. You understand? I'm going to shoot the bloody thing.
Another one to take him on the 2-6 Fred Cook, but there's a bit of manoeuvrability in his play now.
Mrs. Coulson?
Lazy little bastard. You've done all you're ever gonna do to me.
No! No! I'll get some help, Mrs. Coulson. I'll get an ambulance.
No. There's no point, is there? He's dead.
Are you sure?
The bastard's dead!
All right, Mrs. Coulson, calm down.
It's all so easy. All those years of bashings and drinking and swearing. And all I had to do was kill him. He gave me this. Made such a big thing out of it when he won it at the pub. It's the only way I got things. Raffles or poker games. No! I want you to stay here, Miss Ferguson. I haven't made up my mind what to do yet.
Look, you'll be all right, Mrs. Coulson. I'll tell them just what sort of a man your husband was.
Mummy, has play started yet?
Play outside, Jill. Your mother's not quite ready yet.
What happened, Mum?
Come here, love.
Jill, why don't you go and find Major? Hey, we don't want him to get out again, do we?
At the table, what happened? It was beautiful.
Your father decided he didn't want a party today, love. We'll have one some other time, okay?
Dad!
Jill, why don't we go and feed Major, eh?
Daddy, he's hurt himself. Mum, look.
God's sake, Mrs. Coulson, think. The child's going to have to live with this on her mind for the rest of her life.
Oh, we don't want that, do we? You're right, Miss Ferguson, when you think about it. I don't guess Jilly or me have got much to look forward to. So there's only one way out, isn't there?
Anyone home? Joan?
You're not being fair, Mrs. Coulson. She's only a child. She's got her whole life ahead of her.
Yeah, Until she grows up and meets someone like her father.
For God's sake, that doesn't happen to everyone.
How would you know? You're not married. Talk to the women in your prison, they'll tell you. We haven't got a chance.
You can't compare Jill to them. She's got a mother who loves her.
Jilly's mother killed her father. Now just shut up.
Everything will be all right, Jill. Don't you worry. Your mother's just a bit upset.
But what did she do to Daddy? She said she
Dad's had an accident, Jill. That's why Mummy's crying.
Lie to her, she's not an idiot.
All right. But there's no need to frighten her, is there?
Why the hell don't they leave us alone? It's our problem. It's got nothing to do with them.
It's gone too far for that, Mrs. Coulson. You haven't forgotten what you've done, have you?
He deserved it.
I know that. Why don't you tell them? I'll back you up.
Mrs. Coulson, can you hear me? This is Sergeant Williams.
Go away. Leave us alone.
I'd like to talk to you, Mrs. Coulson. We understand the problem you're having, but what you're doing isn't going to help. Please come out so we can talk.
He means it, Mrs. Coulson. He just wants to talk.
Shut up. I've made up my mind. I don't care about me, but I'm not going to let them have Jilly. She's had it rotten all her life. She deserves better.
You call what you're going to do better? Look at her. The kid's terrified of her own mother.
Mr. Ferguson, if you can, give us a signal if the child is all right.
I'll turn the light on, Mrs. Coulson, shall I?
She loves me. It was us against him. I had to protect her when he tried to hit her all the time. She loves me. Oh, don't, darling. It's all right. Mummy loves you. Don't be frightened.
It's all right, Jill. It's all over. All we've got to do now is help your mum.
Oh, there's a big coverage on the Coulson siege.
Yes, I saw one of them. Overdone, as usual.
Yes, it was a bit colourful. It's a good thing, though, they didn't mention your name.
Yeah, thank God for that. Are they sending her here, do you know?
No idea. Oh, well, I better do something.
Look, thanks for doing the shift for me. What I said last night, it was uncalled for.
It's all right, Joan, I understand. Do you know where they've sent the child?
I didn't bother to ask. No concern of mine anymore. Mrs. Coulson, this is a prison, and you must do as you're told. If you obey the rules, then life will be made easier. Much easier than it was when you were living at home.
Because we want to know exactly what happened. And I'll find out one way or another.
Please go away. I just want to be left alone.
Did you try to knife your kid or not?
Daniels, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Huh, just getting to know Carol here, Miss Ferguson.
Did she touch you?
No.
Get out, Daniels. If I catch you in here again, you'll be on a charge.
Yes, Miss Ferguson.
Come on. You'll be all right. Look, I wouldn't worry too much about the others. They get a bit funny about kids being hurt, that's all. But you'll have an officer around you at all times, so you should be all right.
I don't care what they do. I murdered my husband. I nearly murdered my little girl. Let them kill me if they want to. It's all I deserve now.
Hello, Jill.
Jilly, you remember Miss Ferguson, don't you? Well, I'll be inside. See you later.
Thank you. Well, how are they treating you?
All right.
It, seems like a nice place, Jill.
It's all right.
Your mother sends her love. She misses you very much. Well, she'd be here if she could. It's just that, she's not very well at the moment. But I'm sure you'll be able to go and see her soon. You do understand, don't you, Jill?
I understand.
So in the meantime, I'll take her any messages, you know, anything you might want to say. I'll tell you well then, shall I?
All right. How's Major?
What? Oh, he's fine.
I wish I could have brought him with you. He's a nice dog.
Yeah. Well, look, I've got to go back to work now, Jill. But I'll come and visit you again soon, and, well, perhaps we could have a day out together. We could even go and see Major. Or anything else that you want to do. What do you say?
Yes, I'd like that very much. Thank you, Miss Ferguson. I'm glad you came.
Where do you think you're going, Smith?
Just filling in time, Miss Ferguson. The machines aren't fixed yet.
Well, we'll just have to find something else for you to do.
Oh, I'll be okay. As a matter of fact, I've just finished having a chat with your little friend.
What are you talking about?
They say that danger brings people closer together. That situation at Carol Colson's place certainly was dangerous, wasn't it?
As usual, Smith, you don't know what you're talking about.
No? I heard you and Colson were very close.
Colson was a neighbour of mine, Smith. She is now an inmate here and will be treated the same as everyone else.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, you just tell her to keep to herself, because we don't care whose friend she is. We don't like her.
As much as I loved your daddy, he was often cruel to me. Very cruel. So, just try and understand, okay?
You killed my dad.
Jilly, darling, I love you. I just... Could you take me back inside, please? Jilly hates me.
Look, you've got to give her time. Her whole world's been turned upside down.
She'll always hate me.
It's all my fault. I shouldn't have brought her here so soon.
No. I wanted you to. I wanted to try and explain why I did it. Help her understand.
Look, would you like me to get you something?
No, I don't need anything. If I could just have some time to myself. To think.
Look, I could have a talk to Jill. I could try and explain it to her.
I don't think it'll do much good.
But it's worth a try.
Tell her that I... Doesn't matter.
Yes, Joan.
It seems we have a problem with Colson, Governor.
Have you finished with me?
Yes, thanks, Meg. The visit didn't go well?
I think I've made a terrible mistake insisting that Jill visit her.
What's happened?
I just left Colson in her cell. She's deeply depressed over Jill's rejection.
I'll have a talk to her. Maybe if you put her in with the other women straight
No, I don't
away,
think
it
that'd
might-
work. They have been giving her the silent treatment.
I'll have a talk to them. Of course, we should have a social worker for this sort of thing. I've been asking the department.